Hey guys,
Hey.
Elvira here
And Alouette.
from Imaginary in the Studio. And this is our next lesson in a follow up to the previous one where we gave you some pre drawings to do. Yeah,
This one is going to be it's a bit more about the left and the right brain, where you'll really see kind of a shift happening, and we're just going to explain it a little bit again and go on to some exercises.
yeah. So, like we explained last time, your brain has symbols that it uses to be able to perceive and uh, talk about what's around it. So, and you can see those things in the sounds and the alphabet. Those are all symbols that we use so that we can function in the world. And it's very effective and it's amazing. We need to be able to think like that.
Yeah, the left brain is where the language is located, and it is what we most often use. It's for math,
Yeah.
and it is, I would say, probably the most dominant side, also in our society. It's what education emphasizes.
And then because there is such a focus on that, excuse me, the right brain is neglected. And it's not, and there's a good reason for that. It's not as bombastic as the left brain. It is more into the details. It kind of really delves deep and gets lost in what it's seeing and what it's doing.
You
So
could maybe say it slows you down a bit.
yeah,
And in today's society, it's kind of not what people want and need.
no,
It might be perfect for what we're going through now in the world, but I think we need to be going into that phase.
yeah, and there's more spatial awareness and by the right brain, and then it's like it's not something they can't really always coexist. They often interfere. The verbal, logical, let's get this done thing with the spacey daydream,
Yeah.
detail orientated, like we said previously, when you are in your left brain, you don't want so much detail. You just want to be able to use the least amount of information to be able to go on with the activity doing.
It is I would say the right brain is very meditative. So I've
Yeah.
talked about before how it's kind of like meditation, and there are exercises you could do to kind of get into the meditative state. Also, I think the left and the right brain can make friends.
Yeah, they can.
Eventually.
They can, but you kind of have to show the left brain what the right brain is capable
Yeah.
of, and then
Prove
it has to prove itself.
Yeah.
It's not as assertive.
No.
So you have to show it. We're going to show you. We're going to do some exercises that will first make the two hemispheres clash, and you'll feel the tension. And then we're going to quieten. The next exercise is going to quieten down the left brain, and then allow the right brain to do its thing. And then we're going to show the left brain what has happened, and hopefully that it. And studies have shown that is what's going to allow the left brain to be like, okay, you know what, you're better at this. Continue. I'll sit back for this one. Yeah, yeah. And it's actually relaxing then because we are so much in our left brain, so we can't really need that relaxation.
It also becomes faster
relaxation.
and faster. The process of getting there, your left brain kind of just calms down.
And you need the more you practice these exercises, the quicker you'll be able to come into that mode, and then switch between them, and maybe then let them coexist eventually. But you kind of really do need to just practice it by itself, for a bit. Yeah. So let's get on to the exercises now. Listen to everything through and then go on and do them. And this is going to be a really interesting one, the first one. So what you're going to do is below on the page there is going to be a link to a profile image, a line drawing, very simple, nothing complex. So it's actually I do the drawing of Alouette. So it's going to be either on the left side or the right side of the page. So if you are right-handed, take the image with the left side drawing and vice versa. So if you're left-handed, take the right side drawing. So we are going to either print it out or you can copy it down. Then you're going to draw a line at the top of it and at the bottom. And then you're going to, before anything else, you're going to trace over the profile, naming each part. So turn your face this way. So you're going to say forehead, nose, lip, chin, neck. Forehead, bridge of nose, nose, upper lip, lip, bottom lip, chin. Do that 2 or 3 times. Really know what each thing is and think about what they are. Now, we recommend using just a normal pencil and some white paper. It doesn't have to be fancy paper. This is just an exercise. Okay, so now you have activated your left brain by saying each thing and knowing what they are and what they symbolize. Now, you've connected that line, and now I want you to draw the opposing mirror image of that profile on the other side. Now, before you continue, I want you to do that, and then I'm going to explain to you what's happening while you do that. So take a moment, do that first, and then we'll continue. Okay, so now you're going to continue. So this exercise is made to make sure that the brains interfere. How did it feel while you were doing this? Did you get a reaction? Did you get like a moment of frustration, even kind of like a headache feel while you were doing that? Okay, let me just turn.
That's Katrina.
That's Katrina. Say hi. And this, of course, you guys have met Izzy. Okay. So the feeling of these brains clashing, it is because you are trying to you've activated the left brain, but now you have to draw with your right brain. That feeling, they actually describe it as a moment of paralysis. It will be interesting to find out what you guys feel, but there is this moment of like, okay, no, I can't do this with this function. And how did you solve that problem? Did you perhaps turn off knowing what each thing is and just try to draw it as a pattern of a vase? Because that would be easier than trying to draw it as a face of the reverse.
So the inverse makes you, if you do the mirror image of something, it's difficult to be like, oh, okay, this is what it is, because you just did it the other way.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't want to do it the other way.
So you have to make a total shift in mode. You most likely found it unhelpful to name, like we've said, and it is more helpful to think in terms of shapes and lines and curves and angles, and then and think about things in relation to each other. Yeah. Okay, so that was the first exercise. I want you again to just date the thing and put your name on it, sign it. It's going to be interesting to see this later on. Now, the next exercise is meant to totally take the left brain out of the picture. Now, often the response to this exercise is a little bit of like, what? No, what? Why?
I don't like this.
I don't like this. And that's your left brain again, because it's making it out of control. So what you're going to do, you're going to take a drawing, and there's a few drawings that you can use. We'll show you this one.
Yeah. You'll be drawing this one.
you're going to draw it upside down, like we've shown it. So it's gonna be upside down, and you're drawing it upside down. Both are upside down. And what this is gonna do is the left brain doesn't like things that are upside down because it's harder to name it. It's harder to name it.
Again.
And for some reason, it just doesn't like doing that. So it's actually quieting it down totally, and it's going to allow the right side of your brain to come into full bloom and just do what it needs to do.
Maybe correction, the left side likes to name it, but the right side doesn't. And when you turn it around, the left side can't name it. That's actually what's happening.
Yeah, that's right. So this is going to take about 40 minutes at least. Don't turn the drawing right side up until you're done, and finish the whole thing in one sitting.
Relax.
Just relax, put on some music, put on a podcast, and just really get into it. You can start anywhere on the drawing. There's no right place to start. A lot of people like to start at the top, work their way down. And also don't try
to start on one point.
Yeah. And also don't think about doing like a general outline and then going to the little details. Draw one angle adjacent to the next angle and curve. One curve in relation to the next curve.
Everything is ratios. Everything is in relation to everything else.
Yes. And you'll find that you suddenly you should come into this kind of blissful state of this pattern that's engrossing you. That's eventually the feeling that you will get. And that's when you get there, that's when you'll understand the way your right brain feels when it's active. Yeah. Okay, so when you're done, totally done, turn both right side up. There you go. Compare the two. You will most likely be very surprised by how accurately you are able to depict things. And even like hard things like foreshortenings are most likely done very well. And it's not very different from seeing them the right way up. It's just that the symbol system takes over and wants to do it one way. And remember, you have everything in front of you to be able to draw it correctly. And that's what drawing it upside down shows you. It's not complicated. We always say, draw what you see. That's a mantra. Draw what you see. And really, this is learning you to see. That's where the problem lies with drawing, not the drawing so much itself. That's mechanics. Yeah. Seeing is the problem. Yeah. Observing. Yeah. And the moment, also while you're drawing, don't try to name or think about the thing you're drawing, even if you do recognize it. Try to rather forget about it. You can even maybe cover up part of the drawing and only look at a small part so that you might be less likely to recognize. But that helps for some people. It doesn't help for all. I personally didn't like doing that. But if you are so strongly minded in your left, you might find that very helpful. Yeah. So once your left brain sees that the right brain is capable of such amazing talents, it's going to be more likely to back down. It's going to be like, you know what? You obviously can do this. I don't get upside down drawing. I have no interest in it. You take this over. Just do it. And then this is how you will need to draw always. You're not always going to be able to draw upside down. You might not always want to. But it's a good practice to get yourself into the right way of thinking, of perceiving. So I suggest that if you are struggling in your normal drawings to really get something correct, turn it upside down if you have an image and see if you can't get it right then. Yeah, usually helps. It usually helps. Or even maybe stop what you're doing, go do an upside down drawing and then come back to it. And there you have it. There you've done two things. You've seen the clash, very in a very good extent, like it's been really emphasized. And then you've gone to removing the left and allowing the right to take over. So
it's a good progression from that one exercise to the
yes.
other.
So we'd love to see results. So please do send them to us.